Hey, hello again. We're back playing OTTD and we'll be continuing with the Waterworld game. So let's just do that. For those of you new or randomly checking in, we have this big old 1K map and lots of islands, and we're trying to connect pretty much everything. One of the comments I got was, well, why didn't I do this rather than using the map overlay because I can basically zoom out infinitely. And I did reply to the comment, but the point is that you're right. The commenter is right. But the different overlays make things a lot easier to oversee on the bake map. So you can like color look at industries and whatever else is. So that's just the underlying idea. The only reason why I'm going to really load this is because I want to continue from where I left off, and admittedly, I haven't played this for a few days, so I don't quite remember, and by zooming out, I totally lost it. I have to review what was going on, and back on the topic of maps, the other thing that's pretty useful is the town names, the cargo flow, especially in this case, because now I know that I'm kind of heading from this direction, turn of town names, because it's way too busy. And probably the next few things I want to do is going to be in this vicinity. And actually, we're doing pretty well. So that's for the idea of, I just want to make sure that, okay, fine. Um, yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that on the keyboard layout here that you can see nothing's active because I remember that OBS has a tendency to mark the number 2 key active for some obscure reason, which is slightly misleading. Okay, so yeah, let's go with these three islands. I updated the game. That's good. I updated the game to whatever is current. And again, for those of you who may or may not be watching this religiously, I've made a few changes to the game's code, it being open source and being all, like comparatively simple to do at least bits of it. I mean, I've never in my life done C++, and with that in mind, I kind of managed to do bits and bobs. So you not so much relevance for this playthrough of the game, but if I could type, that would be great. You know what, I wanna hide this. Yeah, but I've bumped the maximum number of vehicles allowed. And you'll see well, you may see in a moment, but I also bumped a neat little functionality whereby I'm going to press the button S and everything gets going. So essentially, I bound this to the letter S on the keyboard. Right. Okay, so the way we play is that people are now accounted for. So essentially, every town on these islands, it's every town's connected, the hotel's connected. I'm kind of saying this out loud partially because I actually just don't remember what I'd done um, 2 weeks ago. I haven't actually played this for 2 weeks, which you wouldn't see because I've stacked a lot on YouTube. So from your perspective, it's every day one or one every day each day. I don't speak English today. And but I need a reminder for myself. And one of the many reasons why haven't been playing this is because kind of stemming from this whole, I'm not streaming really. Medium, isn't it? Yeah, and that's large. I think I only have like, hold on. I really need a reminder for myself. So everything's peg well in medium, and everything's peg well in large. Well, that's effing stupid. I kind of remember I um streamlined medium and large passenger boats because there's just no point. So what I'll do is I'm going to delete this, yes, and it's fine. There's not going to be a medium. So one of the things I started saying in one of the later episodes was that I want to play TT, i.e. the one from, that's a crappy one, the one from 1990 odd. And off screen, I kind of took action on this. So on the one hand, I totally managed to record an hour of blank, which was because I'm an idiot. But that's also because I set up DOSBox incorrectly. However, there have been further iterations. Oh, there's an island with a town. Okay. I don't know why I just pressed, but I don't need that. Yeah, no. So take 5. I actually had set up DOSBox X, and I had a chat with one of the guys at work about just games we played when we were kids, everything, and so TT came up, and Master of Magic came up, and Master of Orion came up. So I actually spent the last 2 weeks out playing Mon and Moo, and I will at some point want to do a screencast of those. I want to finish this particular game, and then I want to do TT Classic. Then I'll probably do a Magic and a Moo. I'm not going to bore you with those at this point too much, but funnily enough, if you're ever curious, there's a surprisingly large modding community that exists for both of those classics. This is being transported. Where's the actual dock? Yeah, I just want to clone a ship. Uh, there's a surprisingly large modding community for both Master of Magic and Master of Orion, and some of the community updates are as new as 2 weeks ago. If you're ever curious, there's a 100M community patch, which is pretty good. There are community patches for Orion, otherwise managed by some other person. Let's just say some are better than others. When I get to playing and screencasting Orion, I will actually talk about this, but not for the time being, because I don't hazard it belongs to this game. I don't want road vehicles. What am I doing? I wanted to clone route. So basically next step will be, so that's kind of been queued up. So let's get I'm always unsure if boat should be able to come in here. So let's get some food in here from the fishing ground, processing plant thingy bobby, and then get the engineering supplies out. Or actually, it doesn't matter. So you come here. Good. I don't think we need a medium. Go away, you're blocking my screen. I'm pretty sure one will do. See? Press key S and it's all going. Live. Oh, there's another fishy spot. How many fishy spots are here? This is not being utilized. That's also not being utilized. None of these are being utilized. Interesting. I'm looking for fish processing plants, whatever they're called. And not really finding any. Or I'll give a medium. That's what I want. Is ship. Great. I shall examine that in detail at some point. No, it's a sandbank. Shoals. Shoals. Probably don't go that far. Where the hell are you being sent to? Yeah, don't go there. At which point this is actually going to get surprisingly busy with fishy or foodie. Right, there was something about a new boat for goods that I've not really been paying attention to. I live large and extra large. What are you? These 450. And these ones are huge. 1120. Right, I'm not going to change anything. Okay, so as I said at some point earlier, the whole glasswork thing is going to come last. Don't even ask why, it's just random. Ratings, decent. Production, normal. Yeah, it's fine. I need to get the dairy farm stuff out. Okay, let me find the fish market that's not being used. No, it's being used. Stop yet. One thing that would be really cool is to actually see where the stations connected are, because yeah, fish and livestock. I could cut through here, but in all fairness, I'm not going to bother. I don't think we're losing that much. So you do fish and milk, and you don't actually cover. Alright. Doesn't matter. So weird getting back into something after like 2 weeks, and it's only been 2 weeks. So this defaults to, we could triple that. Yeah, you know what? You know, and in this game you don't even get attacked, unlike in the whole Master of series where a lot of it is kind of survival, and then you go away for a day, and then you look at the map thinking, what was I doing? I'm surprised. Oh shit, someone's attacking me. Or okay, we're going to change this logic a little because did not clone. So the engineering supplies both being extra small is cute. I'm not going to shout, but it reminds me of whichever cartoon where a character was always saying something is cute, but it's long. And that's exactly the thing here. Okay, food, fish, fish. Well, what's obviously wouldn't be stopping here with it. Can ships, engineering supplies. See, that's the thing, I can't drag this in here. Berrywood Waterside. It's going to be in the 2 block. I'd say shout if you see it, but no, there's too many things moving on this map. Berrywood Waterside. You get updated. So these people are allegedly getting food and goods in China. Okay, well, what on earth are the fishy boats doing? Be an actual fishy boat. You're just fishing around. So cows are being transported, and I want to. Should just dairy, yeah. Take milk. Food and milk. Yes, that is precisely. Let's do 2 of these and see how that goes. Okay, so because Glossworks come at the end, I shall not bother with them just yet. Now that I said that, you take engineering supplies. Okay, fine. Not a blum blum. And there's nothing of interest on this island. Makes my life easier. So next one is that little piggy. Both these are not accounted for. That's what I get on with them. I mean, at the end, we'll look at. No, I don't want to change that. Stupid thing. At the end, I'll look at all of these industries that they are actually being covered properly. I think we're kind of getting to the point where I should make sure that stuff's happening. Right, so you still say you're not getting any food. You're getting service. Ah, you do, whatever. Pretty sure Waterworld's not going to be a place for. This is one? Yeah, it is one. Can we? That's interesting logic. Okay, let's do something about this island, which will probably include cutting it into pieces. No, I want this, and I want that, and I want something like that. Some of these hotels are outstandingly badly placed. Actually, that was stupid. If you were watching at the time when I started all this, I was like, no, I have to replace every bit of silver and make sure nothing gets harmed sort of stuff. And well, as you may observe, that appears to be less of a priority. I mean, I wouldn't call the game challenging, but it's like it's not challenging in terms of I can't possibly lose if even if there's such a concept here. But, I'm thinking kind of coming through here. But it's challenging enough in terms of yeah, I could spend a lot more time on silly things. I was like, nah, nope. Okay, I'm not fully sure because no, I did not want that. So my conundrum is that I want this. think I'm just going to dig a tunnel here. Yes, no. Doesn't matter, it's not being used. It's just a design element. Town, hotel, town, hotel, hotel. In the other map game, the much bigger map that is, it's kind of hilarious because we've gotten to a time where silicon bridges are a thing, and I always find it hilarious that the game offers silicon bridges for road vehicles, which is like, yeah, they will totally be speeding at 600 kilometers or 400 miles an hour. Like, that just happens. I'll think about how to solve this. Probably something like this though, because then I could just put a dock here and then that gets connected. So that covers the town, that covers the scrapyard, and nothing's covering this, which is not optimal. Just bugs me. Okay, so hotel's covered, but the town isn't particularly away. Town covered, that's done. This is not too well done, but hey ho, this is totally not done. The other game I want to play at some point is either Dungeon Keeper or War for the Overworld. I mean, Dungeon Keeper 2, not the first one. The first one I actually never played, but from what I gather, it's not that great. There's a lot of shit on this island. That is a lot of shit on this island. I am going to hold everything in here. It just makes life so much easier. Also, like, money isn't that much of an object. Make it bigger. Yeah, so Dungeon Keeper 2 or War for the Overworld. The obvious main difference between the two is that one's kind of newer than the other. So built out all this, and the thing we still do not have is an actual sort of town access or what. No, I keep pressing the wrong button because I am in the wrong window. So hotel's kind of sorted for the manyth time. I really wish the house wasn't there. So if I do that, do this, not sure they'll let me. Come on. Yeah, they did. Good. Now, go away. Actually, don't need to. Okay, that's useful. Yeah, so continuing the previous thought, the main obvious difference between Dungeon Keeper 2 and War for the Overworld is that, you know, one just supports more content, it's newer, that sort of stuff. They built in the same logic. You get a bunch of minions and fight for hell, more or less. Eventually, then making it to the overworld out of hell, which is the surface, which is our world. This island's very badly laid out. But it's a funny game. I very much like TT games, OTTD and all the others, but if I do that and nothing else, everyone, including myself, will get bored. Very bad location. This is interesting that I could basically hold both. So if it ever deigns to clean, well, while it's doing its thing, let's just put some, behave. Go away. Okay, one. It doesn't matter, does it? Okay, how do I want this? So I am going to need stuff. I might actually take things here. I haven't decided yet. Definitely want to even out these weird things because they kind of don't work too well for my design effort. What an unfortunate place to build a house. Okay, town. That's for the plate, whatever plate is, pit. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so town, no hotel, town, stuff, lumpy town, hotel. I'm sure I missed something, but you want to live forever? Come on. If you feel like being communicative, I'm actually curious about your thoughts on bytes, i.e., as you have noticed, I'm using the classic 8 bits, not the 32-bit stuff. I remember there was a small island somewhere. Yeah, there. Let's clone a passenger boat. Like, basically, what do people think about designs, by which I mean the sprites. Okay, let's do this. Take, like, I think we'll need a few because it's going to be connecting stuff. And separate from that, we'll need a few more. Like, do you prefer the 8-bit stuff, 32? Some of this is not optimally laid out. I know there's some overlap, I don't mind. In fact, I kind of want it. I never really got my head around the new designs. I just don't like them. And this actually needs to be here. Okay, we have about 15 minutes over. So I am thinking um, hmm. Okay, well, one thing is that this needs fixing because we need to put a dock here, and I haven't done a particularly good job at this, have I? I know I'm now coming up with random curve, but what would be nice is to overlay the map on this, like, turn off all industries that are not steel mills, like just visibly. That's a metal works. It doesn't massively matter, but we're going to use the one behind me if there's such a thing. I want to revamp this area a bit. Probably wasn't necessary after all. I've changed my mind. Yes, I know. No, not that one. This one. Put stuff back. Okay. So okay, coal mines and stuff. So just for entertainment's sake, we have one coal mine. Why did I think there were many? Okay, fine. And one iron mine. No, you're lying. I can see it. Yeah, there you go. 4 coal mines. 5, actually. What I'll do is just have this go in circles. I'm getting increasingly less bothered by things. So the only issue is, where do I put the actual furnace? Oh no, I'm not using this. So we start 1. Okay, just go away. We are going to use the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4, 5, and then 6. I could actually make it that it doesn't like it jumps orders if it's full, but it's a very manual process. Okay, so that covers coal mines, and then we had the iron mines. I need docks or depots or whatever. Close enough. I still have issues seeing these color differences. There's a second one, there's a third one someplace. Someplace, come on. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, so the next we have 12 odd minutes is to haul stuff from here, but the obvious problem is that this will need food and goods. So what I shall do is get the metal. Oh god, oh no, there's one. Oh, I should also take this stuff. That was a long time ago. I only have one scrapyard. I have 2 scrapyards. Just probably take large because these are not that big. Boneyard and boneyard. And then I also need steel. It's looking for metal. Go away. Yo, you go from here to there. We will need a lot more than this because we are going to ramp up production substantially. And then I want goods. I had 2 coffees and I'm still like, what's the alphabet? Like G comes after F. This age. Don't know if that's an achievement. Not convinced. Okay. So I would need, and this is where it's going to be actually extra small ones. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I think we need like 7 different boats because there's an overlap. I know how much it costs, I don't care. Okay, can we make this a bit less? See. No, I want it here anyway. This will be like more because it's 2 of them. And then one needs to go there. And I think you take engineering samples. So let's say pits, clay pits. What the hell are these called? Clay pits. Oh, we have a lot. Okay. So we're obviously not going to have time to do everything in this episode because I actually need to cut it pretty much once I'm done with these clay pit entities. No, I can tell you that's not what I want. Well, stick in the iron mines. So that's been done. Obviously, it's not particularly colorblind friendly. Okay, we send all of them out. Okay, so the next one will be the clay pit and then the iron mines, and then that should kind of cover stuff. I'm going to cut it here because it's 55. So thanks for watching as always, and I shall see you next time, hopefully. No, I have done the iron mines, so I'm just stupid. Okay, well, there's that. Yeah, any comments, questions, whatnot? Let me know, please, as always. The next stop, clay pit. Is there 2 here? No, I don't. Lying. Anyway, bye bye.